Today we're building a window desk, and you're going to want to know what these are. These are countertop support brackets, and they can hold up to 500 pounds. Today you're going to learn 2 ways to build a window desk using structural screws. Why are we using structural screws? Because they are rated to carry a tremendous amount of weight. Let's get started on our build. Anytime you're mounting something heavy to a wall, you're going to want to use a stud finder. You can also use a finish nail. What I'm looking for is the location of the stud, obviously where the lights are illuminated. I'm just going to mark that. That tells me that is where my stud is, and that is where our brackets are going to need to be mounted. Use a structural screw that's at least 3 inches long, and I'm going with these rugged structural screws so that they really can hold a lot of weight up here on our wall. So a countertop support bracket, this is what we would use on a kitchen island for the overhang, and the overhang is going to extend right here where the surface of the desk is going to be. I'm just going to place that on my wall, and I'm going to get my structural screws and hit each and every stud hole here. Whoa, you see that? Stud, nice. All right, let's get 2 more in there, and then we can move to the other side. Now that I've installed my second bracket, just check it with the level, and now we're ready to cut our countertop and check out our other window. So what makes this installation different is that we're placing the surface of our desk right here on the window liner or the window sill. Now, a word of caution with your window frame: you never want to install the desk on the frame or drill through the window frame, because we do not want to void the warranty of your window. Let's move on to the next step. For the surface of our desk, we are going with an IKEA countertop. Now, the key to remember for laminate or countertops like this is the nice side is face down. We're gonna do a rip cut today, and if you haven't done one, this is great to learn how to do it. Back side is up. We're gonna do a rip cut right here along the back of our countertop. Let's do it. That's my mark. What I like to do is I like to run painter's tape. I like the wide stuff right over top of my mark. So as I take my tape, I'm just gonna push it down with my hand, and you can see I have another mark. That's the center, and I want the tape in the center. There we go, push it down. So why am I doing this? I like to use painter's tape, and don't worry, if you get a wrinkle in there, no big deal. I'm using painter's tape because I want a nice, crisp, solid line without any mistakes. Once I get to the end here, I'm just gonna move my countertop forward, and I'm gonna put tape along the front side of my countertop as well. I'm gonna take it now, flip this over. It's a little heavy. And I have, you can see I have, what do I have there? Cardboard, that's what we call it, cardboard. On the face side, I'm doing that so I don't damage the front of our desk. Once you have that ready, we get our saw for the rip. Whatever you're using here, you wanna make sure that it is straight. So if you have a straight piece, a level works great. If you have a level, you can clamp it here. I'm just using a piece of lumber, but it has to be perfectly straight. And then clamp it on both ends. I'm doing it like this because if you don't do a lot of saw work, this will guarantee a nice, clean, and crisp cut. That's my cut mark. We're looking for 1.5 inches. And right there is 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches at the end. So why am I looking for that measurement? Take a look at my saw. So I'm using this piece of lumber as a guide, and my saw, if you take a look right there, that distance from where the blade of the saw meets the edge of my saw is, you guessed it, that number, 1.5 inches. So right here, you want to let the saw do the work and take your time. Word of caution, when you get to the end here, you want to make sure you have a friend supporting the weight of the countertop, because it is heavy. If you don't have it supported and you get to the end, it's going to tear the edge of your countertop, and we want to avoid that at all costs. Once we have the back ripped, we're just going to take our clamps off of both sides, and now we're going to move on to cutting the side. And we can see how we did with that rip cut. So moving on now to the end of our countertop, what we're gonna do here is go nice and slow, and I'm using my level as a guide, and I have it taped up. And the key here is to go nice and slow. Take your time and make sure that back end is supported. So slow and steady. Okay, now the proof is in the pudding. Let's see how we did here. Let's go to the front. I'm gonna put my saw down. Here we go, nice and good, clean cut. What about the back? How'd we do? Okay, we're good. Now that it's cut, let's test this out. Desk number 1. Get it lined up and secured on the underside. So with the surface of your desk installed, now we're going to install screws on the underside of your desk. Now it's super important that they are the right length because we don't want to go through our countertop, and I'm actually using washers as well on this. There we go. We'll test this out with our chair and see how this looks. Taking advantage of views is a great way to utilize a window desk. This one, office chair, slid right in. You've got a great view and a great workstation anywhere in your home. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh. It works. Not interfering at all with our window, which is great. We'll do a couple touch-ups here, but this is an oak countertop. So for our second desk, we are going with counter height stools, which is great. We can do something a little bit different in here because the surface is so wide. We can actually slide in a workstation for 3 people. You could use this as a desk, as an office, or hey, a breakfast bar. You have lots of flexibility with a surface like this. Now, if you like the look of trimless windows, we call these drywall returns. I'll show you how you can easily do it on your own in this one right here. Lots of tips for you.